Hello everyone! I hope you all had a lovely month of February and a great Valentine's or Galentine's Day. I did forget to mention that. And also I did recently post my Eyebrow 101. It is an update of all my best brow pencils, tips and tricks, everything you want to know about how I design and groom my eyebrows. So if you haven't seen that, please do check it out. But now I want to talk to you about my February favorites because I'm going to be updating you on a lot of things because I recently have started to wear more and more makeup again. It's not like I was bored with makeup, but I was temporarily stepping away from it a bit and I was testing so much new skincare, so I actually have an update on my favorite new brand in my life, as well as a lot of the products that are kind of hit and miss that I've been trying. So I'm going to do the skincare at the end because I know it's been a while since I've really featured makeup as part of my favorites. And I'm going to start with eyeshadow because I am wearing Tom Ford again. As I mentioned, I was clearing out my storage, kind of streamlining down my vanity, and I rediscovered Tom Ford's Disco Dusk. Or Dust, I believe. Yes, it's Disco Dust. And this eyeshadow palette kind of rekindled my love for Tom Ford. It's flattering, work appropriate, but it can be jazzed up at night with the glitter, and I actually do think that this glitter is pretty wearable. For all makeup worn details, please look at the description box below because that's where I list everything on my face. Okay, so here's the Hourglass Volure Waterproof Liquid Liner. This is actually not waterproof. I've tested it already thoroughly enough to know that it does bleed into the corners of my eyes, but you know what, that happens to me with any liquid liner. I'm just glad that this one doesn't flake. So I would say that overall it is a very impressive liquid liner, but what gets me the most and why I am so crazy about it is that it has a really dark, rich formula that I don't have to keep layering. I just set it down along my lash line and it just looks incredibly rich and dark, and it's so easy to wing out my liner without having to go back and kind of straighten things out. It has a very firm tip that I really like and appreciate. I think Hourglass did an excellent job. The brand is already known for being innovative, but I think they did a remarkable job with this because it's hard to find a felt tip eyeliner that really can deliver results and is easy to use. So I highly recommend this. I've been using Burberry's, which is a lot softer with a much more flexible tip, and that is actually harder to control, especially if you don't have a steady hand. Granted, this one does look natural. It's about half as dark as the Hourglass, so it does look more natural, and I know some people aren't really into intense eyeliner the way I am, but I think both are good. This one I would recommend for day, and this definitely for night. As far as the Hourglass formula goes, I think the closest that it comes to would be Sisley. This one is definitely not waterproof at all. It does get a little smudgy, but it's so dark, almost as dark as the Hourglass, and really easy to use. It has a slightly chubbier felt tip pen, and even though I've been using it for at least 2 months now, the tip hasn't started to deteriorate. That's the problem with a lot of felt tip liners. I do prefer felt tip to brush tipped liquid liners. I just find that most of the time they don't last. I've been mixing up my routine though. Instead of just liquid liner, I have been tight lining without a pencil. Instead, I've been using a powder. This is Laura Mercier's Black Ebony Tight Line Cake Eyeliner, and I love this. It does smudge just a bit, but I've been using my Artis Demi, and this is the #1 linear, I believe, but it's really small, and even though I have small eyes, it gets right into my tight line, right into the roots of my lashes, so it intensifies my eyes, and it works so well when I'm wearing only mascara. If you're interested in tight lining, but pencils have always caused you trouble, whether it's because they crumble or whether it's because they're too creamy and move too much, definitely give the Laura Mercier a try. And now for the last bit of beauty before we move on to the skincare. This is Kevyn Aucoin's eyelash curler, and as most of you know, I was dedicated and I'm still dedicated to Shuomora's lash curlers. They work really well for me when I'm just applying mascara. However, when it comes to wearing falsies, especially the big ones that I like from Volure, it's hard to squeeze into the lash line. That's when the Kevyn Aucoin comes in really handy because it opens up quite a bit, so I can gently squeeze my natural lashes and my false lashes together with this. It's very comfortable comfortable, very easy to use. Now I'm super excited because I can finally talk to you guys about Arcona, but this is my favorite new skincare brand. And the best part is they're not super expensive like SK-II or La Mer. It's fairly reasonably priced, really effective skincare. So we're gonna start with my two favorites. This is the Hydrating Serum, which I use AM and PM. I use this anytime my skin is feeling dehydrated, which is actually really often considering the weather has been dry. Now, the Overnight Cellular Repair Complex is something that you only use at night. It's a repair/nourish formula, and it says PM on the bottle. That's how you know you should use it at night only. And I just find that these two are amazing. I think they're totally worth every penny. Definitely products that I'll be running through quickly and repurchasing. The Overnight Cellular Complex has a very subtle cranberry-ish smell. It's natural, it's really creamy, and it absorbs super well. It's a product that's easy to fall in love with. The ingredient list on the Hydrating Serum is super short. It definitely does help my skin when it's feeling dehydrated or depleted, and that's because I sleep with the heater on, so this has become an essential. The Overnight Cellular Repair Complex, however, which is not a serum, this is basically a nighttime cream in a bottle. I don't always use this by itself. It depends on how much I want to layer my skincare that evening. Half the time I have been using Arcona's wine oil, which can be used day or night, but this has a very strong wine scent. This is a fairly simple oil, and I like that it's only half an ounce, so it's easy to travel with. It's for hydration, repair, and quote-unquote de-aging. I'm not sure what that means, but I do love how hydrating it is. So because it smells so strong and I can't use it on its own, I like to mix 2 drops of this wine oil with 2 pumps of this complex, and together they make a really repairing, soothing, and hydrating combo that does not clog my pores. So I highly recommend this combo. Now, even though I love to experiment and layer at night, my daily routine in the morning is fairly simple. I wash my face, use a toner, put on the Hydrating Serum, and finish up with the Peptide Hydrating Complex. You don't want to put this anywhere close to your eyeballs or your eyelids because it will sting a bit. If you have ultra sensitive skin, I would definitely avoid this, but if you have dry skin, it is so good. This one works well under makeup. I was told by one of the sales associates that represents Arcona that it is a serum, but it actually works better as a moisturizer in my personal opinion. And then I just top this with a sunscreen. Depending on how dry your skin is, the results may or may not be immediate. This one is supposed to help support repair and deeply hydrate, enhance firmness and moisture retention. I do believe it does those things, and I've been using it for a few months, so I know it works. Now for the Arcona Mandarin Brightening Peel. I first bought this in December, and I do think it works. It is a little on the expensive side considering you only get, I think, 2 ounces of this, so that's why I wanted to recommend the Fresh Vitamin Nectar Mask is one of my favorites. I don't think it brightens as much as the Mandarin Brightening Peel, but for the price you get so much more, and if you're looking for intense brightness, I do think that the Arcona Mandarin works. Don't expect results that you would get with something like a retinol, like the PCA brightening retinol that I use. This is really good, and it's something that I would consider repurchasing, but I'm not 100% sure yet. I like the way it feels, I like the way it smells, I like the way it applies, but we'll see if it gives me long-term results. Last but not least, we're gonna wrap it up with my Miss from Arcona. This is actually their most expensive serum. This is the Instant Magic Reversal Serum, which is to repair/replenish, but I found this the most disappointing out of all the Arcona products I've tried, and I've tried at least a dozen now. I just find that if you're gonna spend this much, the better alternative, the more effective one on my skin anyway, is the PCA Intensive Brightening Retinol. This works so well, and it helps clear up acne. This has retinol in the ingredient list, but for some reason, I just don't like the tacky texture. I'm not crazy about the fragrance, and I just think overall it doesn't really work for me, and it definitely felt underwhelming compared to how well the other Arcona products felt on my skin. The packaging of this brand is so boring, but I think what's inside these bottles is really, really impressive. Now, even though this didn't work for me, it doesn't mean that it wouldn't work for you. PCA is definitely a lot more potent as a treatment, so perhaps if you have more sensitive skin, thinner skin than I do, this one may work for you. But for the most part, if you're looking for almost instantaneous results, then try the PCA Skin. And that's a wrap for my February favorites. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and if you have have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to me on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!